Good morning, finance class. We are going to go over 6.1, which is on taxes. Everyone's favorite. Woohoo! I mean, if you've ever worked a job and saw the taxes that are taken out of your paycheck, it's just so sad. But taxes pay for all the things we use and enjoy. Taxes pay, our tax dollars pay for the highways and the freeways. They pay for the libraries and the parks. They pay for they pay for federal aid like WIC and welfare, and so they pay for homeland like defense. So taxes do cover a lot of stuff. So anyways, this first section is just on being able to understand how to figure out taxable income. So taxable income is what you are taxed on by the government. So it's the amount. Some things aren't taxable, like child support. Child support, if you collect child support, you aren't taxed on that money. It's tax-free. So taxable income focuses on the money you are taxed on. And this tax is called income tax. I'm sure you've heard of the IRS. They are the physical people that collect these forms and determine how much you owe. Filing status, there are several, and I'm going to give you an acronym for each one that I'm going to use throughout. So filing status can determine how much you are subject to, and some get taxed higher than others. So there's the single status, so S. Married filing jointly is usually just MFJ. They get a great benefit. They're taxed at a lower rate than any other status. Married filing separately. This should be separately instead of separated. Sorry, married filing separate. There's no D here. And then head of household would be someone like, for example, if you are living with your grandmother or an uncle is taking care of his nieces and he's not married, he might just be considered head of household. So those are the filing statuses, and each status has a different taxable rate, you could say. So we're going to jump in and do some problems like that on your homework. So the first several questions are using this chart. Now, this is just a tiny glimpse of the tax forms, and notice this is just covering income ranging from $77,000 to $83,000. So there's one of these from like zero all the way up to like, millions of dollars. So this is just a little tiny piece of the tax forms. So Abe is single, so his filing status is single. Here is his taxable income. How much does Abe owe in taxes? So if you'll notice, at the top of this is the filing status. So here is S. This is married filing joint, married filing separate, and this last one is HOH. And then they've grouped things in income increments of $50. So I'm looking for $83,492. So here is $83,450 to $83,500, and I'm going to look in this first column because he is single. Now notice that and married filing separate are the two highest withholdings. So this is how much tax that he is subject to, versus if you were married, it's about $4,000 less. So married couples do get the greatest tax benefits. So he is going to owe $324. Now, I shouldn't say, hopefully he's working a job that's withholding the taxes for him out of his paycheck each month, but that's how much he's going to be liable for. So Roberta is married and filing a joint return with her husband. Okay, so she's married, filing joint, and their combined taxable income, so her and her husband's income added together, is $80,997. So almost 81. So 80,000. Here we are. It's between 80,950 and 81,000. They're married filing joint, so $9,694. So you get a much greater tax benefit if you are married than if you're single. You're liable for less money. Number 3, so Quinn files as head of household, and his tax, now they haven't told us income. His tax is $12,220. So head of household, I'm looking in this last column, and I'm looking for the tax of $12,220. So $12,220. There it is right there, which is an income range of $80,300 to $80,350. So you're looking on the chart opposite. I don't want to draw on this. All right, next one. So we are going to determine the tax for each of these. So single, $80,602. So single, $80,000. Here's $80,600. So $13,677. Married, filing, joint, 77. So all sevens would be here, and married, filing, joint is the second column, 8,990. Head of household, 83,572. 83,572, right in here. 12,956. So you're just looking at the chart. Married, filing, separate, 83,050. So this should be, now notice there are 2 categories that include 83,050, but this says less than. So it's not equal to. So we're looking at this column because it can actually equal 83,050. Head of household, married, filing, separate, 14,228. All right, next. Given the taxable income amount, express the tax line that would be used in a compound inequality. So 80,154 is here, and it is in between 8,150 and 8,200. So a compound inequality would state that I is greater than or equal to 80,150. Because that's what this says, at least. But the second one is less than, so your income is less than 80,200. And a compound inequality means that there should be 2 separate. And so here is my answer. For the next one, this is 83,200 and 83,250. So I would write my income has to be greater or equal to the first, or the income has to be less than 83,250. Next one. It wants us to use interval notation, so it wants us to write it as one inequality. That's what interval notation means. So 80,100 is on here, and it has the range 80,100 to 80,150. So you put I in the middle. You put the smaller number on the left, so 80,100 is less than or equal to. So if you put the smaller one here, this should be less than or equal to, and then less than the larger number. Next one, this should be on here. 77,686 is 77,650 to 77,700. So I would put the smaller one on the left, which is the 650, is less than or equal to I, which is less than 77,700. All right, given the filing, identify the taxable, I'm going to skip this because I doubt this is on your homework. For the rest of these, we're going to actually be calculating the tax. So we're going to base it on this chart. Now, here's the income range. So if you're over this but less than this, here's the tax. Then you're given 12% of anything over the second amount. So I will calculate these with you. So calculate the tax for each of these. So 200,000, it can't be over this. It has to be this next one. You can actually equal this. So 200,000 is 44,298 plus 35% of anything over 200,000. And I don't have anything over 200,000. So my tax would just be 44,298. It's a lot of money, people. Part B. So 23 is in between these two. So my tax is 1,360 plus 12% as a decimal of this amount minus the 13,600. And that is what you'd be entering because this is calculating, here's your flat rate plus 12% of the amount you're over. And that gave me $2,592.64. Next one, 121. 121 is in between these two. So my tax rate is 12,698 plus 24% of the amount you made minus 82,500. So I would enter this in my calculator and I got $22,000, $151.60. Next one. 82,251 puts me in the same range as in this one. So my tax is 59.44 right here plus 22% of anything over, so minus 51,800. And that gives me $12,643.22. For what taxable income would a payer have to pay $30,698? Well, that looks like in here. So in between 157,500. According to the tax schedule, Anna has to pay about $40,000. What's her income interval? Well, $40,000, I'm going to guess is this plus 32%. Right, because this goes over. This is over. So between 157,500 and 200,000. Next, Sam's taxable income is $92,000. What percent of his taxable income is his tax? So based on the amount he makes, up in the chart above, his tax is $12,698. plus 24% of 92,300 minus 82,500. So I'm going to enter this, and I get that his taxes are 15,500, but it wanted to know what percent of his taxable income. So what percent, if you take his taxes and divide that by his income, these are his taxes. So taxes divided by income, and I got 0.163, so 16.3%. That is the percentage of his income that he is paying back in taxes. Last one, we're going to use this chart. It's very similar to the one above. To compute tax. So if I make $189,000, that's in between this range, and it says to multiply it by 0.32, and I get $60,480. Then it says to subtract this amount, $18,310.50, and so I'm left with $42,169.50. So you multiply, you write the amount here, your income, you multiply it and write it here, you subtract this and write the result here. So the next one, 415 221 times 35%, and 35% of that is $145,327.35. And I'm subtracting, this says subtraction amount, so I'm subtracting $24,310.50. The tax that this person would owe. Now, this is almost $500,000, so that is why your tax is so the more you make, the more you're taxed, right? Which you might think, ha ha ha, but that's because you're not the one being taxed all that, right? If you were making a lot of money, I guarantee you'd want your money. So for this next one, I'm multiplying by 37%, and then I'm subtracting the $34,310.50. So the tax on this is almost $200,000. So can you imagine what celebrities are taxed? People that are making millions and millions and millions of dollars, or athletes. So the more you make, the more you get taxed.